my presentation on AP Literature Analysis. So the assignments in class, we have poetry seminars, and every week we get about 3 or 4 poems. This is my poetry notebook. It has like all the poems we've done in preparation for the AP literature test. And so I put this quote of Socrates: "The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new," as a way to kind of give them like credit for creating Socratic seminars. And this assignment was to choose two poems from the same week and analyze them, but I chose to do two poems from different weeks. The first poem is "Before the Birth of One of Her Children" by Anne Bradstreet. When you want to read it?
The poem?
The biography.
See, Miss Morris, my eyesight's awful.
Okay. Although Bradstreet had 8 children between the years 1633 and 1652, which meant that her domestic responsibilities were extremely demanding, she wrote poetry which expressed her commitment to the craft of writing. In addition, her work reflects the religious and emotional conflict she experienced as a woman writer and as a Puritan. Throughout her life, Bradstreet was concerned with the issues of sin and redemption, physical and emotional frailty, death, and immortality. Much of her work indicates that she had a difficult time resolving the conflict she experienced between the pleasures of sensory and familial experience and the promises of heaven. As a Puritan, she struggled to subdue her attachment to the world, but as a woman, she sometimes felt more strongly connected to her husband, children, and community than to God.
So I'm just going to read the poem out loud, and you have a paper to follow along. All things within this fading world have to end. Adversity doth still our joys attend. No tie so strong, no friend so dear and sweet, but with death's parting blow is sure to meet. The sentence passed is most irrevocable, a common thing, yet inevitable. How soon, my dear, death may my steps attend? How soon be thy lot to lose thy friend? We are both ignorant, yet loved by to me. These farewell lines to recommend to thee, that when the knots untied that made us one, I may see thine, who in effect am none. And if I see not half my days that's due, what nature would God grant to you, to yours and you? The many faults that well you know I have, that be interred in my oblivious grave. If any worth or virtue were in me, let that live freshly in thy memory. And when thou felt'st no grief, as I no harms, yet love thy dead with long laying in thine arms. And when thy loss shall be repaired with gains, look at my little babies, my dear remain. And if thou love thyself, or thou'st me, those O protect from dame's injury. If chance to thine eyes shall bring this verse, with some sad sighs honor my absent hearse, and kiss this paper before thy love's dear sake, who will salt tears this last farewell did take. So, one of the things I annotated within the poem are her styles of rhythm. So it's A, B, B, and then it continues down. And there's a repetition of a certain rhyme with B that comes up 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And she uses a lot of enjambment, so the lines that are B often go together. So I'm just going to read them out loud. No tie so strong, no friend so dear and sweet, but with death's parting blow is sure to meet. We are both ignorant, yet love bides me. These farewell lines to recommend to thee. If any worth or virtue were in me, let thy live freshly in thy memory. And if thou love thyself or lovest me, these will protect from stepdame's injury. So all these lines kind of connect to her all these lines connect her to her family and the people she cares about, and she just wants them to remember her and love her even after she's dead. And only the lines B really strongly exemplify that. This poem is mostly about her death and just trying to, like, her last wishes as she's dying. And like in the biography we see she connects more to her family than to God. and it showed within those same rhyme patterns of B. The next poem I wanted to talk about was Quiet Life, but the actual title is called Ode to Solitude. I'll just read this little biography. This poem is by Alexander Pope. He was known for having perfected the rhyme couplet form of his idol John Dryden and turned it into satiric and philosophical purposes. There's not much about him. They just talk about him writing. And I'll read the next poem. Happy the man whose wish and care a few paternal acres bound, content to breathe his native air in his own ground, whose herds with milk, whose fields with bread, whose flocks supply him with attire, whose trees in summer yield him shade, in winter fire. Blessed who can unconcernedly find hours, days, and years slide soft away, and health of body, peace of mind, quiet by day. Sound sleep by night, study and ease, together mix sweet recreation, and innocence which most does please, with meditation. Thus let me live, unseen, unknown, thus unlamented let me die, still from the world, not a stone, tell where I lie. And so you can see similarly to Bradstreet's poem, he uses a rhyme to help his enjambment. So the lines that rhyme together, if you read them together, it helps you understand the poem better, similar to Bradstreet, where all her B, if you read all the B lines, you get a better understanding of the poem. So I'll just read like the ones that I've bracketed for you. A few paternal acres bound in his own ground. And then the next stanza, whose flocks supply him with attire in winter fire. Hours, days, and years slide soft away, quiet by day. Together mix sweet recreation with meditation. Thus unlamented let me die, tell where I lie. And these poets use this rhyming and enjambment to help the reader get a better sense of imagery of what they actually are trying to say. Within his poem, he's actually talking about being okay with just living with what he's had. And similar to Bradstreet, he's talking to his children or somebody he cares about. And in the last sentence, in the last stanza, he says, steal from the world and not a stone tell where I lie. So he really doesn't want to be contrasting to Bradstreet. He doesn't want to be remembered. He just wants to live his life and be left alone. He doesn't even want a great stone to like remember him, so he's trying to mourn him and like go back to his thing and say, oh, this is where my father was, he was such a great person. But Bradstreet, she actually wants them to remember her because she feels like she has, like, as a mother with like that many children, like she has a really strong connection to her family, and she just wants to make sure that she has a lasting impression on them, because she feels like if she dies, then it's kind of like not a big thing, but she really wants to have that strong connection because she really cherishes her children. And here, he's more about kind of living life simply and off of the land. And so they both have this rhyme, the use of rhyme, enjambment, and prospective, which is future telling. So they tell, like, as they're dying, they're like, this is what I want to happen in the future. And they both talk about death, as the poem's perspective is them almost on their deathbed, kind of telling their children and loved ones what they want. And that was it. Questions?
I do. So, who told you? What like? So you read these poems. You said you picked them from two different weeks, and the point of the project was to compare them.
To
Analyze them.
And then compare them.
And then find similarities. And the list that you just had up before, that was the similarities that you found. All right. I don't really have any questions about the actual project. Unless you do, Ms. Morales. You're the English teacher.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't want to go first.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so, I don't know that I have a question per se. It's a little hard. This is for my course, so
Oh, is it?
I can't really have questions.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do have comments and feedback, but yeah. So the only thing, I think you did well. The thing, honestly, and it is more awkward, especially when you're presenting to the teacher
Teacher.
whose course it's from.
Mhm.
But I think you actually go into much more in-depth analysis, like in class, like, or during seminar than you did right now. So, like, I think you tackled some things that maybe we don't talk about that much in class, right, or during our seminars, which is great. So that I saw something that I don't normally get to see for my students in that class, in terms of the your use of, in comparison of the endowment, right, which was really good. However, you probably could have done a little bit more in-depth analysis, just overall, like thematically, of each poem, I think. And then, yeah, in terms of feedback, I think you could have, like, talked a little bit about the process of analyzing the poems, because that's part of what they ask for the exhibition presentations.
Yeah, I think that's what I think I was trying to get at. It's like, how do you know where to start?
Yeah.
Like,
So.
were you given the patterns, or you found the patterns?
You find them.
Right, but you also have like a list of 10 questions that you work off of with each that they, like, so like that, you know what I mean, in terms of like, well, this is how I first set out analyzing poems, and like, if the first thing you do is trying to answer those questions, you could have told us that, and like maybe you didn't put the questions up on the slide or whatever.
Okay.
For someone, like I know them because I gave them to you.
No, I don't know.
But like Mr. Isler, you know what I mean? So like that might have been helpful, and then like, I don't know, just explain a little bit more of like the process of it all.
Yeah,
I think you did
yeah,
well.
yeah, that was great. Thanks.